Welcome to the Modern Skein podcast. My name is Sharon Graff, and I'm the owner of the Modern Skein yarn shop here in Montgomery, Texas.
And I'm Kaylee. I'm your Gen Z yarn guide here at the Modern Skein.
And we're here with, I believe, if my count is correct, it's episode 140, which is crazy to think that I've actually done 140 episodes of this, and y'all still keep watching. So thank you very much for tuning in. It is actually getting close to when I actually started the podcast, because I didn't start the podcast right away when we opened the shop. I started, I think, like April or May. Could have been June. Don't quite remember. But somewhere April through June of 2018 is when we started the podcast, and I don't recommend going back and watching episode 1 because it's rough. But, you know, we learn from, I guess, mistakes, but you just learn and grow, and as you do things, you get a little more experience and everything else. So, yes, that to say, welcome. Thanks for tuning in, and if it is a new to you podcast, welcome, and I hope you continue to watch. We certainly have fun here at the podcast and in the shop, and it's just a little way of sharing the shop experience with those of you who aren't local, who can't make it into the shop all the time, maybe you live in another state or in another country even, and you get to see a little bit of the behind the scenes sort of with the shop. So hello and welcome. And I have a finished object.
Yay!
I'm wearing. Yay! I thought long and hard. I was like, did I show it on the podcast already? But I just posted it on Instagram. So I finished my Inclinations Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I think this is kind of like another version of a shift for me. I'll wear it. It's very wearable. Like, you just throw it on and you don't have to think about it.
Has a nice pop of color.
It does, especially for people who know me, who I don't usually wear lots of pops of color, but it's a nice pop of color. It's blue, so I like it. So Inclinations is a 2-color sport weight cowl by Andrea Mowry. Don't let the stitch pattern fool you. It is not brioche. It is a half fisherman's rib, which is very easy, and it's done in 2 colors. Oh gosh, I got the hiccups. 2 colors of Spincycle. So I did Light Years and Nicoya, and you could just as easily do a solid sport weight yarn and 1 Spincycle if you don't want 2 necessarily. I mean, I like the color shifting that you get from the 2 kind of playing through. They kind of almost canceled each other out here in this section, which was kind of cool. But if you are looking to, I mean, you don't even have to use Spincycle. You could just use 2 colors of sport. For Spincycle, it takes 2 skeins of each color. You are left with a bit of leftover that you could then put into another project, potentially, maybe socks, little color work, bit and bobs. So you do have a little bit of leftover. I don't know that it's enough to add into like a shift cowl per se, but you could do a scrappy one for sure. So yeah, that's the Inclinations by Andrea Mowry, and I love it. I've worn it several times here in the shop. It's just perfect for our weather right now, where it's like the air conditioning's cold or it's cool in the morning, but it's still 80 something, during the afternoon. So you want to wear some knitwear, but you don't want to wear a full thing.
A whole sweater.
A whole sweater.
That's too much.
Yeah, that's too much already. I thought we were having a nice spring, and now it's all of a sudden, yeah. It's literally like looking like it might rain. There's not supposed to be any sun for the rest of the week. And it's supposed to be like 85, 86, 87.
Welcome to Texas.
Yep. It'll probably change. So
Probably.
You know, that's that. So, what are you?
All right.
No finished object?
No finished objects.
Okay.
But let's start with my newest cast on.
Oh.
This is the Good Willow sweater by Allison Cribs. So it's a top-down cabled sweater with a little bit of a. So this is the back panel, but when I get to the front, it'll have a little bit of a floral colorwork section, which if I brought this, it should show. It has a little diagram. Here we go.
Oh yeah.
So that's what the sweater is gonna look like. It's got the nice little cable detail and then the color work on the front panel. So I'm working on the back panel right now, and then I'm gonna pick up for the left and right shoulders. Very similar to the Moby sweater, how the Moby sweater is constructed. And then once I get to the color work, I'm going to be using my Spincycle in Strawflower. So this is Ulysse in Nuit, and Spincycle dyed in the wool Strawflower. It's so good. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
Even though I won't be able to wear it for a while, which is sad, but
True.
that's exciting.
Absolutely. So, if we're going to talk about newest Caston, I had a case of Castonitis. I would say last week, but it was also this week. So,
Did I even see this?
no.
I don't think I saw this one.
No, you have not. So, long story short, not that short. Okay. Several years ago, if you have been watching the podcast for a while, you know I knit I call it the Selja, Selja. Don't remember the designer's name, but it was promoted. I think it may have even been in Lina magazine, or perhaps designed by one of the people who produced Lina magazine. It could be I'm not going to say because I'm going to get it wrong. Anyway, Selja. It's pictured as a very simple scoop neck, 3/4 length sleeve, kind of looks like garter stitch all over. It was a super fun summer knit, knitted a very loose gauge. I want to say it's like a 14 stitch gauge, but you hold either a fingering weight linen double or a DK to worsted weight linen, because it's supposed to be like loose and not saggy, baggy, but unstructured, kind of like that. Super cute. If you scroll back on our Instagram, I know I've shared photos over the years of me wearing it, like over top maxi dresses with linen pants, things like that. It was super cute. But I noticed the last couple times I wore it, my weight fluctuates actually quite a bit, and it was very too saggy for my liking, and it was also looking oddly shop worn in a weird way. I'm not sure why. Like, it had been cleaned and everything else, but it just looked meh. So I decided to rip it out, which we actually did a reel, and we were ripping it out, and I wound up the yarn in a cake, 2 cakes actually, this is just one. And I was like, I'm gonna reknit it. So I steamed it all out and everything, and now the yarn itself, I mean, it's a little kinky with the memory, but other than that, it looks great. And I remembered last year I had purchased the vacation vest from Park and Knit. Now this thinking about the vacation vest by Park and Knit happened like a week and a half ago. And then I remembered Josh and I are going on a cruise for our anniversary in, I think, 12 days. So it's coming up quickly. And I was like, oh, it would be so fun to wear the vacation vest on my vacation. So I cast on. And I have the back, and I'm working on, it's not connected yet, but I've got the left front done, and tonight I hope to get the right front done, and then it'll just be onto the body. So did I bring my pattern? No, I did not. So the vacation vest, you can look it up on Ravelry. It is just that. It is a vest. Everything is knit pretty much continuous, so there's no picking up button bands or anything like that. There is no button band. She actually recommends to sew in like little eyelets to close the front. I'm debating between either the little eyelets, or I also saw one where the person knit like a little tight I-cord out of her yarn and attached it, so you could do like a little a little tie, like,
oh, that'd be cute.
That would be cute.
Ooh.
Yeah. And there's another pattern that came out recently that's kind of the similar idea of vest, and it has the little ties, and I like that one a lot. So I'm leaning towards the tie. I could always do the eyelets, because you do that at the very end. That's easy enough to change or modify. So the yarn I'm using is Lenny from SandnesGarn. We are very low in our stock right now. I will just say that. I have been working for the past like 24 hours, longer than that, but going back and forth trying to get all the colors restocked. Not all of them are available quite yet, but fingers crossed we should have, actually before I go on vacation, hopefully, we should have at least a refresh of some of the colors with the rest of them on back order. This color, of course, is on back order. This is Kitt, or 1015, which is not white. It is like an ecru color. They do have a white, also on back order. It's fine. I've gotten to the point the last like 4 days of really knowing the numbers 4033, 1015, 1099, and it's kind of ridiculous. But vacation vest is super cute. It only takes, I think, even for the largest size, which is over 60 or over 60 inches, I believe it's still under 1,000 yards. So Lin is a very inexpensive yarn because it is a linen cotton viscose blend. The viscose is sourced from bamboo, so it is a sustainable plant-based yarn. And the oh my gosh, I can't think of the yardage right off the top of my head. I want to say it's like 118 meters, so it'd be like 120-ish, 23, 25 yards. If that's the case, I think so. And I want to say it's $7.50 a ball. So it's not super expensive. Like for my size, I'm knitting the size small because I didn't want a ton of positive ease. I think that'll give me about 2 inches of positive ease, and I am on gauge. I checked. And I feel like I'm rambling all of a sudden. But anyway, it's only going to take like 480 yards. So not very much. I'll have leftover from how much the Celia used, but that's beside the point. So anyway, that is a long ramble for like 13 minutes now. Well, you talked about yours, but about my vacation vest. So yes, hopefully there will be a photograph of me on a cruise ship wearing said vacation vest. So,
my other project is my Moby Sweater, which hasn't changed much since the last podcast. I think you have my markers.
Oh,
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely.
I think I'm at 9 inches from the armhole, and I need I don't remember how many I need. I need a lot.
I was about to say for a men's sweater, it's
like
a lot.
Yeah, I want to say it was 20 something, but
from the armhole.
I don't remember.
That seems
that
like
might
a
be
lot.
wrong. I don't know. All I know is I have a ways to go.
Yeah,
so.
I think Josh's I end up doing like 16, and it's like it's never ending.
But
yeah,
I am going on a little road trip this next week, so maybe I can get some more done.
Yes, road trips are great for knitting.
Mm-hmm. So maybe
As
I'll
long
have
as
it.
you're not the driver.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay, so...
Oh, wait.
Oh.
Moby Sweater.
Oh, yeah?
Moby Sweater by Petite Knit.
We got off track.
Way off track. Knitting this for my dad. This is Kelbourne Woolens Scout and Charcoal Heather. I want to say this is the size 2XL. I think
Stitch definition
it's so
is
good.
just
We talk about this
so good.
every time people see this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that stitch definition is amazing. And it is.
It really is. Like, I think it's coming across in the camera like it's black, but you can still see all the cables, which is just so good. So I've knit with another yarn that's popular that's black, and you see some, but you don't get near that definition. So
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay. So, hi, my name is Sharon, and I am addicted to casting on patterns. So we're going to have a little 30-minute episode here of how many more whips can she pull out of her bag. But I have made progress on some older whips. Not that old, but I have made good progress on my Miles T by Ozetta.
It's so cute.
Ta-da.
I love this detail here.
I know. So this is the back side.
That's so cute.
And it really just gives that a little bit of oomph to the pattern. The other cool thing about it is once I reach the bottom, so now I'm just knitting, I've joined, I'm just knitting in the round. So I figure, I honestly should probably take this on the cruise because it's just good, mindless. I don't need to remember a pattern or anything like that. We'll see. I am, oddly enough, oh, I was going to tell you something else. So the bottom of it, you have like a, scalloped hem is not the right word, but you have the curved hem on the back and the curved hem on the front, so it's higher, a little bit higher on the sides, which is really, really cute, and I like. So I was trying to knit this around earlier. I'm doing helical knitting now that I've joined into the body. Not necessarily because so if you know me, I don't alternate skeins. I just don't. But because, long story short, I had to rip out most of this yesterday. I had about a little past this much from the sleeve, so I haven't caught up yet. But I had to rip it out because my back was excessively longer than the front, and it gave me a weird, like, humpback thing. So, measure your pattern. Don't just, that looks about right. It was 2.5 inches too much. So once I rejoined, because I had to rip out and rip back the back, I had like these little balls of yarn everywhere. So I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll do helical knitting for a little bit. If I hate it, I won't do it. I don't hate it. Honestly, every time I do it, my brain goes, that doesn't make sense. Why? How does this work? Because if you're not familiar with helical knitting, you knit to 3 stitches before your new yarn. You slip those 3 stitches, and then you just knit with your new yarn to 3 stitches before. You slip those, and you're back with your original yarn. But there's no float because you're back with the original yarn. But my brain just doesn't want to compute how that... If I was doing 2 different colors, my brain would understand it a lot better. But anyway, it's not difficult. So I would say it's much easier way of alternating skeins if you prefer to alternate your skeins with hand-dyed yarn or commercially dyed yarn, whatever floats your boat. I don't care for the yarn management aspect. By the way, the reason you see the line of demarcation there, it's because where I steamed it and then ripped it back out, and it's not, oh, she's knitting so much tighter or anything. No, it just hasn't been steamed. So yeah, helical knitting, it's fun. I say it's fun. It's cool. It's different. And I can see if you had some skeins that were obviously different, hand-dyed, but you wanted to blend them together, helical knitting is much more intuitive, I feel, than just, I'll say, striping or alternating traditionally ear skeins. So yeah, I think it's great if you are in the camp of alternating skeins. Like I said, normally I'm not, but, and when I run out of this last little ball, I may go back to just regular knitting. We'll see. So that's one. So that's 2 projects I've shared with you guys. Now, my good friend Max came out with a new pattern that I got to see when I was in England, and it is the Striptastic Shawl. This is so cute.
It's so cute.
This is my little like social knitting project. So like this mostly stays in the car and I just haul it around and get a few stripes done. Very simple pattern to follow, but it's such a fluffy textural little thing. So cute. The yarn I'm using is Fluff for the mane. Fluff is by, of course, Les Garçons and Walcott. Just a single strand. And then my stripes are Yorkshire Sport in the antique leather. So it's 2 skeins of fluff, 1 skein of sport. You could easily just, if you don't like fluff, just do a different skein of sport. We had a lady get yarn for it, and yes, it's in my little hide and hammer bag. You know, you need to pay attention for an announcement soon. Just saying. We had a lady buy some imbue, which we'll show you, for the main color, and then do a skein of Spincycle for her little stripes. Which would be super cute. Oh, I love it so much. Stay tuned. Coming soon. Coming in like 11 days, I think. Okay. Bigger bag.
Another one.
Another one. I have 5 hide and hammer bags. Just, yeah, I have a problem. Okay, so this one, I can't remember if I showed this one. I think I did last time.
I think so.
But
I don't think you got to the Spincycle yet.
No, I hadn't gotten to I know for sure. So this is the Fogline by Brienne Moody.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. Ta-da. So I am using Yorkshire DK and Spincycle. It's so good. So for the DK, I'm using the natural. Then you have Aberdeenshire, which is in the background. And then you can just barely see it. I just switched over to the Dunedin, which is the dark brown. Technically, there should be 1 more color, but you don't use very much. So it's going to be whatever I have a decent amount left of, which I think is going to be the natural. And I'll just reuse that for that. And then you use 3 colors of Spincycle. So my first colorway here is Shades of Earth. And then I will go into Rosy Maple right there. And then last but not least, the Sex on the Beach. So it's going to be so pretty. And it's such a nice, long, cozy wrap because I'm not even halfway through, really. I think there's 8 of these, like, section repeats. This is another, like, super nice social knit because I was having this discussion with the lady on Saturday. Sometimes garter stitch or just stocking it in the round is a little too boring, but you don't want anything that you have to think about. But this is just enough that you don't have to think about it, but it's not boring. Plus you get to see the color changes, you know, with the Spincycle and everything else. So I highly recommend this pattern for a good, slightly engaging social knit. Or if you want a simple pattern but that has a big look, it definitely looks more complicated than it is. Guess what? There's more. So, I think if memory serves, there's only 1 more in here. Yes.
Have I seen this one either?
Maybe not.
I don't think I've seen this one either.
So I decided I needed a imbue pattern. So I am using Boro of Imbue. So Imbue is from Brooklyn Tweed. It launched last week. It is a sport weight, 100% merino. It's super soft, you guys. It's very spongy. I love it. This is Spincycle. This is Mississippi Marsala, dyed in the wool. And I cast on, I don't know what's going on here. I have a tangled mess. But I cast on the Great Gingham Raglan by Jessie Maid. It looks so good.
I love it.
Oh, I love this. So we have the hat as a store sample in here in Andorra and Vibe Check.
It's so nice.
So soft. And this is going to be my fall sweater. Like, it's navy.
It's perfect.
But it has that little bit of subtle pop, but there's also gray and the blue in here. This is going to be my fall sweater for sure. It's another one of those kind of addicting pattern repeats. It is color work, but you just want to, let me just do one more repeat. So I've actually made a lot of progress on this. It is bottom up. I do have to make a decision if I'm doing the short sleeve version or the long sleeve, and I think I have decided I'm going to go ahead and do the long sleeve, especially since this is, it's sport weight, so I could wear it more like 3 season and stuff, but to be perfectly honest here, it's going to be a winter sweater. So I'm going to go ahead and do the long sleeve version. So that means actually I need to knit my sleeves, which I might take, that would be good on the cruise project, not too big or anything like that. So that's the other thing. I need to figure out what whips I'm taking on the cruise.
Well, you got a lot to choose from.
I do. So that is finally all of my whips that I brought. Because y'all know I still have my Copenhagen cardigan. I guess that's actually the only thing that I didn't bring is the Copenhagen cardigan. Right? Yeah. Not as many as I anticipated, but it's fine. So that's all my whips.
Sorry.
Let's get started in. So last time we talked about, but it wasn't out yet, the Manor collection from Red Stag, and we have it in both the DK and the Sport, and we're going to show you all the colors. So some colors have sold out on DK, some have sold out on Sport. So this is just all the colors, just in general. We did, between both of them, we have all the colors still, but not in every base necessarily. So let's just dive right in. So Yorkshire, the Yorkshire Sport and Yorkshire DK have the same content. So it's a 75% Polworth, 25% Massam. The DK has 246 yards. The Sport has 328. If you're into the number of plies, the DK is a 4-ply and the Sport is a 3-ply. It's a very round yarn, and it's a very plump and yummy, delicious yarn. It does bloom beautifully when blocked, so be mindful of that when you're doing gauges or doing your pattern choices. It does plump up quite nicely, and it's very soft for a non-superwash yarn. Like, you know, it's not superwash because it doesn't have the, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but some superwash tends to feel almost slimy or slick because of the chemical treatment to it. This doesn't have that feeling, but it's just as soft as a superwash yarn would be. It's so good. So this is the Welsh Slate color, which is the deepest, darkest black gray that they have in that collection.
This one's French waistcoat.
That's a good one. I think that one is only available on Sport right now, because a lady bought all of it yesterday. This is Dunedian, or Dunedin. I don't know. Dark chocolate espresso color. I'm using this in the Fogline wrap.
This is Brick Tavern. Sharon used this in multiple projects,
Multiple.
right?
The Kerr sweater, my hat, and my hipster hat, and then the traveler shawl.
Such a good color.
It is.
It's showing up a little bit more orange on the camera, but it's a very nice red. It's a little bit orange, but
it's like a
more of a reddish
bricky
orange.
red. Yeah, at Brick Tavern. It's very good color. This is Gilded. This is one of the, I'll say, brightest in the collection, but it's still not super bright. It truly does look like gold foil on like the ceilings of palaces and stuff like that, or has that little bit of tarnish on it, but yeah.
This is Royal Ballet, kind of a grayish faded pink.
Almost 90s grunge pink, if you are old enough to remember 90s grunge. And then we have Royal Mantle. Royal Mantle is it's coming across a little bit blue, but it is a true deep purple. Yeah, true deep purple.
This is, this is Mar. So a little bit more bluish and gray than Royal Mantle, and a little bit darker than French Waistcoat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then we have Cobblestone, just that perfect mid-tone gray. Really, really pretty color.
Then a classic, good, nice warm brown. I love this one.
It is a warm, slightly reddish brown. It's inspired by leather-bound books in a library. It's a classic. Then we have Antique Leather, one of my favorites. Love it.
This is Aberdeenshire. Very nice.
It's a warm gray or a gray brown. You could kind of call it either way. We have Water Avens. So Water Avens, everyone expects to be blue. Water Avens is the name of a flower, and it is a like peony pink, not peony. I guess some peonies kind of have this color in there, almost hibiscus-y kind of. But yeah, it's a flower. If you look up Water Avens, you'll see this color.
This is Gloss, nice green. Very pretty.
Rich green. Another green, this is St. Andrews, so this is the lighter kind of putting green, golf course green.
This is How do you pronounce
Purpod.
Purpod. Oh, okay.
Purpod.
Okay.
It's
very
purple and Gaelic. Scottish
really?
Gaelic.
I should have known that.
And then we have Natural. Yeah, so the names that are hard to pronounce, that's always Scottish Gaelic. So Natural is the raw wool color, so it doesn't have a dye treatment on it, and you just see the natural brown gray effect of the Massam sheep, because Polworth is white and it's the Massam that's giving it this beautiful coloring. So those are all the colors of the New Manor collection. Like I said, we have it available online and in store. If we are sold out of a color and you're just desperate for it, you can check the Red Stag Fiber website as well directly. They have a few of the colors that we have sold out of already, especially on sport. So check that out. And there are several other shops that are carrying the Manor collection line as well. You can always check with them. And yeah. We love it. Obviously, I've been knitting a lot with it. Now let's talk about Imbue, the other new yarn. So Brooklyn Tweed came out with a new yarn. I think I divided it already. And this is a fabulous, like I've said, I'm doing the Great Gingham Raglan out of mine. So this is a sport weight worsted spun 3-ply, 20.5 micron fine merino, 100% sourced, dyed, and spun in the US. This is a very spongy yarn, like equally soft. They're both spongy, but this is more spongy. It's a weird way of describing yarn, I know, but it's true. This has if you've ever worked with Cormo has a distinct sponge texture, and this reminds me, it's not Cormo at all. So obviously it's merino, but it has that same sponginess. Partly has to do with it being worsted spun, but it is a very round and plump. Not too dissimilar from like Ulysse, honestly, in its feel. But again, it's 100% US. On the inside of the label, they tell you all about the process. They heather the colors, so that means they dye the fleeces first and then break it down, card it, blend the colors to get the colors that they're looking for, and spin it up and everything else. So it's really fascinating. So I'll go, this is Ash. We have sold out of one of the colors, Terrarium, which is a dark teal. I think maybe another color too, but this is Ash, medium gray.
This is Cloak, kind of that brick red.
Yeah, honestly, it is pretty similar to...
That's not it.
Nope, that's not it. I was looking at you and trying to grab. It's a touch...
More purple? That's what I was going to say, too.
Just like a drop more purple, if you're trying to figure out what color to go with. This is Crepe. This is a very warm, like natural color. So it's, I would say it's like a raw wool, but that's had just a glaze of butter put on it. Like just a tiny bit of warmth added to the skein. It's really, really pretty.
This is Orchid. Nice purple.
This is where color naming and me have a problem because that's not the color of an orchid. I should know. My personal email has orchid in it, and growing up, I loved everything orchids. I have since determined that I cannot keep an orchid alive. So I don't have them in my house, but it's not the color of any orchid I've ever had. This is Vapor. So Vapor is a very pale, like sky blue, ice blue sort of color. Very, very pretty. Not a baby blue, just like an icy blue.
This is Hummingbird. Nice moss green, I would say. Very pretty.
This is Lantern. This is like a very rich burnt orange.
Like a pumpkin orange.
Pumpkin, UT fans, this is your color. I'm sure there's other colleges that have the burnt orange as well.
This is Warbler. This is a nice golden yellow.
Almost kind of mustard, kind of, but not quite.
Yeah.
Like it has some green in it, too. It's pretty.
Very nice.
This is Carbon. So this is the darkest black, kind of graphite color. Carbon. Carbon is actually a very good descriptive word for it.
This is Devencorn. This is a nice teal blue. Very pretty.
I have no idea why they picked a German word. I had to look
up how to pronounce it.
I need to look up the meaning of it.
It's the name of a painter, I think.
Okay. Anyway, naming yarn is almost as fascinating as figuring out the names for like nail polishes, because it's like crawfish boiled something or other, and it's like, huh? And then this is Boro. This is not black. This is the dark navy that I'm using in my Great Gingham Raglan. So those are the colors that we have still available. You can check them out online. You can check them out in the store. If you're looking for pattern inspiration, pretty much anything sport weight. I know Brooklyn Tweed has come out with a sweater and a hat pattern, but any of their previous sport weight patterns will also work for MBU sport. There's lots of sport weight patterns out there. You could just look at sport weight patterns on Ravelry. There's so many, so many. And honestly, even some DK patterns that are written at, say, like a 22, 23 stitch gauge, which is pretty dense for DK, you can lighten them up by switching out to a sport weight and get a beautiful garment that's just slightly lighter. So depending on the climate where you are, maybe a great choice to use it as a substitute for DK. Speaking of climate, this is a very weird segue, but it's island vibe. So Sasha probably butchering it. Sasha just wrote this beautiful little book called Island Vibes Summer Knits, and it's published by Lane Magazine, and it celebrates her Jamaican heritage, and the patterns and the pictures in here are just, I'm super excited to be going on my cruise. We're not going to Jamaica, but we are going to the Caribbean, and I love the Caribbean. But I mean, there's such cute patterns that I want to make in here. I'll show you. Find out. She made this sweater for everybody in her family. How cute. So long sleeve, short sleeve, baggy, not baggy, but it's like this mesh, perfect like beach cover up. Like so cute. And then, I mean, a cute tank top. If you prefer cardigans, she has a similar mesh cardigan. And then she has a dress, which is actually super cute. Wraps, and I liked this. The kind of the sarong beach cover-up skirt as well. No, I cannot knit it in time for my vacation. And then this, just a summer wrap. Like, when you're at the beach or on vacation and you need a little something because, you know, you've been outside in the hot sun all day and you're going to go to dinner and it's freezing. It's lightweight. Most of the yarns in here that she uses are linen or cotton based. So pretty much everything in there you can use Mojave, Lin, Tin Lin, and if you're looking for 100% cotton or even Dabble, it would be great yarn substitutes. And she did use Lin and Tin Lin in a couple of her designs as well. So like I said, we are working on restocking our Lin or Lenny, depending on how you pronounce it, as soon as possible. So stay tuned for that. We will definitely make an announcement when those colors are back in stock. We still have several colors in garment quantities available. I know right off the bat, I think it's green tea and pistachio that we have, which are really nice, soft summer ones. There are a few colors that have been discontinued. I know if you were into the one just called pink, I believe it was 4223. That has been discontinued. Found that out. Oddly enough, beige was discontinued, which kind of hurt me on a deep level. But beige was discontinued. Light beige is still available. And golden brown was also discontinued. But lots of other colors. There's still over 40 colors that are available, so we will be restocking those as soon as possible. There's also some new colors coming, including lemon, which is going to be super fun. There's a new pink. It's not called pink. It's like jazzy peony or something like that, and it's a little bit brighter pink, which I know that's always kind of been the complaint with Lenny colors, is they're kind of muted. So they've launched some really fun brighter colors, and there may be a fun bright blue coming soon, which you know that would make me happy. So anyway, I think we'll call that a wrap on today's podcast. We've chatted it up. I can share a little bit about this. If you are local or planning a trip to Texas in August, I know if you've been to Texas in August, it's not necessarily your favorite time of the year to come, but we are one of the stops on the Texas Yarn Trail, which is the Greater Houston area yarn crawl, 6th annual. Ticket sales launch on LYS Day, which is October.
Whoa.
No. April 27th. You can get your tickets. There's also a limited edition trail backpack this year, which is super cute. There are 9 shops that are participating this year, which is fabulous. And it's pretty much all along the I-45 corridor this year. So if you are traveling for it, you can easily hit all the shops in a day or two with a rental car or caravan with your friends. And I hope you join us for that. Speaking of LYS Day, since we will not podcast before LYS Day again, we will have a fabulous trunk show from Erin of Yarn Matters from the Austin area, or Yarn Matter, not Yarn Matters. That's a different company. Yarn Matter. She is actually a tech editor and crochet designer, but also hand dyes beautiful yarns, some really unique bases, and all with natural dyes. So like things like black walnut and indigos and things like that, which is super, super cool. Fascinating. She's going to be here all day, 10 to 5. We're going to have a mimosa bar. We're going to have some snacks. We're going to be launching several new things. Maybe a new bag. Hint, hint. Yes. Okay, I'll just tell you. We're launching Hide and Hammer. So we've got the 08 and the 03 bags that will be launching in a wide variety of colors. We also have, I just got shipping notifications. We've already received some. We're getting restocked in the super fun stitch stoppers and other notions that we've been kind of waiting to restock. And then some new branded merchandise since we just launched our new logo. And Surrey just fell backwards off the sofa. Okay. So lots of fun new things to celebrate LYS Day, and we'd love to be considered your local yarn store, even if you're not local. We have a lot. I don't know what has happened to Surrey, but she's super excited. Come visit us. So excited. So hope you're just as excited as Surrey for Local Yarn Store Day. We will have the trunk show shoppable on the website, and we will of course do a live video, so join us on Instagram as we talk to Erin and do a walkthrough of her fabulous yarns. Yeah, so that's all I can think of, and I'm gonna stop rambling because we have things to do. We have the shop to open, I have an appointment, and all the things. So have a great day, and we will chat soon. I guess it'll be after I may be a little bit more tan, because I plan to sit in a lounge chair and knit the majority of my day for 6 days. Sounds really good. All right, bye guys.